If your teenage child is somehow convinced that her FND condition is permanent, therefore she needs to live like this for the rest of her life, then listen up. In this video, I'm going to talk about why teen FND is curable. And not only that, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why teen FND is curable. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Dr. Lee here. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and the founder of Teen FND Academy, which is an online group coaching program to help resolve teen FND along with their parents. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why teen FND is exactly curable. But first of all, let's talk about this. The inevitable. What is FND? Functional neurological disorder, short for FND, is an umbrella term to describe this cross-wired problem of the communication within the brain and the body of your child, even though your child's brain and the body are physiologically and then structurally, quote unquote, okay. Therefore, you're not going to be able to see anything on the imaging, blood work, or any scan under the mother. It is oddly very common diagnosis you would get in neurology clinic, even though you don't know anything about it or have heard of it until your child got diagnosis of FND. FND is not just one thing that is causing the problem, it is a biopsychosocial phenomenon. If your doctor is still insisting it's all in her head, oh, it's just a stress, oh, it's just anxiety, oh, it's a trauma, or like keep digging this mental health bandwagon, I need to know that who the doctor is because I might have to have a word with this person. All right. So reason number 1, why teen FND is curable. So compared to adult FND, statistically speaking, there is a lot of, more than 90% of the cases of adult who's got FND is somehow related to childhood adverse event, which is again related to childhood trauma. However, teen research study shows that it is actually less than half the time. There's one study showing the relationship between teen FND and the trauma is actually less than like a third of the time. So if the doctor is still insisting just because they don't know how to work with teens or they don't know much about teen FND, let alone they're insisting it is a stress and trauma, then you might need to look for somebody else for a second opinion. Okay. So that's why teen FND has much higher of recovering and resolving completely. So the second reason why the teen FND is curable is kind of related to the age thing. Teen's brain, unlike our brain, so to speak, teen's brain is still developing. So what that means is there is a really good chance of recovering by creating this new connection between the brain and the body through this fancy term called neuroplasticity. Basically, that means that your teen is retraining her brain and her body so that they're able to connect the brain and the body much better. And because the teen's brain is still developing, in fact, that our brain will continue to develop until about like mid to late 20s or even early 30s. So teens are the perfect time to recalibrate and retrain the brain and the body connection so they can really say goodbye to FND for good. And I have seen that case time and time again. So I am 100% convinced that teens' brain is 100% capable of resolving FND. And why teen FND is curable, reason number 3, the symptom presentation, again, kind of related to the age, the symptom presentation is relatively shorter, whether it's weeks or months or years, compared to adult who's got FND. And I get sometimes DMs and then this messaging from this adult who's been struggling with FND. Well, guess what? They have been struggling this FND for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. It's not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's decades and decades. So the thing about our brain and the body is whatever fires will get wired. And if that happens for over and over again, well, guess what? It gets harder and harder to undo that and recalibrate. And that's why the teens who are having symptoms of FND, even though they have been having this for, let's just say 10 years, that is so much better in combination with the teen's brain is still developing, right? And therefore, even if your child has been having these symptoms, if you kind of connect the dots together for, let's just say 10 years or 3 years or a year, that is so much better than an adult who has been struggling with FND for much, much longer. Therefore, teen FND is much, much more likely to cure for good. And why teen FND is curable, reason number 4, well, guess what? Because of their developmental age range, both physiologically and then mentally speaking, they care a lot about having this their normal life. Specifically, they care a lot about having this normal teenage life, just like how their peers are doing. So for example, they might be just going to school, without worrying about having these symptoms or flare-ups. And they might be also looking at their friends, like going to the mall and they do the social stuff, or playing sports, or start driving, right? Or maybe start working, or maybe doing internship and getting ready for college and all that kind of stuff. This is a huge, huge deal for these teens normally. That includes teens who are struggling with FND. So what that means is their motivation to really return to their normal life is really, really high. Mostly because of this social influence from their peers, and then kind of like a FOMO, fear of missing out. They don't want to feel like they're behind the ball game, and they want to feel like they're also kind of jumping on this bandwagon of living their life like normal teenagers. That's why the motivation to want to get better is really high, which is a good thing for teens to recover from FND. And also their perception about living a long, long life is really strong, meaning that they may not know exactly what they want to do for the rest of their life, but they might have some ambitious goals like, well, I want to be a doctor, I want to become this, and I want to go to this college and then live this kind of life, that kind of thing, right? So they have a lot more things to look forward to. Therefore, even though they may not know exactly what that is or the goals, their general motivation deep down, not necessarily on the surface all the time, but deep down is really, really high. The reason number 5, why teen FND is curable is because of the parents. I'm assuming you are the parent who is watching this YouTube video, which by the way, I really appreciate, which means you are the strong advocate for your teen. And if you are living with your teen, that's even better. What that means is your teen has this very, very strong, not just a cheerleader, but advocate and then social support who is going to be in their corner all the time. So you are the solution. If you are thinking you're the problem, think again, because you are the solution. And you are the massive secret weapon for your teen to recover and resolve from FND for good. So let's quickly recap the 5 reasons why teen FND is curable. Okay, the rate of trauma is much, much lower compared to adult with FND. And I'm not saying that the trauma is like a rubber stamp to guarantee that FND is going to be permanent, but it's just like one more layer of things to do. All right, so that's 1. And number 2, the teen's brain is still developing. Therefore, there is a good chance of going through this neural plasticity. Basically fancy name for the recalibrating the connection between the brain and body. And reason number 3, the symptom presentation is relatively shorter compared to adults FND. And reason number 4, teens care a lot more about having the normal teenage life. And curable reason number 5 is you, the parents. So all is to say, there is hope. And I've seen it time and time and time again. Teens, even though they are sort of losing the hope, there is a hope and they do get better. FND does not have to be a permanent disability if you don't want to. So don't listen to others who have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to teen FND. Just don't listen and look for someone else who knows what they're doing. All right. Well, leave a comment below about your teen FND experience. And if this kind of work makes sense to you, that you want my help to come up with the game plan to resolve your teen's FND for good, along with you parents, then click the link below and book a call to talk to me. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.